I'm in an interesting season of life right now. So, where I work, I used to work for my father-in-law. He retired at the beginning of April and sold his business to a larger company. And I've stayed on with them. But in doing so, it's brought me more responsibilities and a little more stress. Okay, we'll say a lot more stress. And I really don't know if I want to be there. The whole reason I went to work for my father-in-law back in 2020 was in 2019 I gave my life to Christ, and I was stressed out at the job that I had at that point. I had been somewhere for 15 years and was doing pretty well. I had established myself, but came to know the Lord, and then my father-in-law offered me a job, which typically I would have passed on, but I felt like that opportunity was bigger than he or I, and that it was something that the Lord had orchestrated. So I stepped out in faith and I pursued that, and I've been there since 2020. So here I am now with this other opportunity, not so much an opportunity, but a new circumstance that I'm not enjoying. And through the years when I worked for my father-in-law, I'd be lying if I said that everything was always good, but I justified it by reminding myself why I was there through obedience. And here I am now, questioning if that's where I want to be, but reminding myself that when it all comes down to it, I really don't want to do what I want to do. I truly want to follow what the Lord has for me and to be obedient to what He has for me. And I don't know what that looks like quite yet. And so my choice is to stay where I'm at and work like I typically do until the Lord reveals or shows what He has for me. And I have no idea how long that's going to be. And I know, and it's a hard place to be for multiple reasons. With this new opportunity, I actually stand to lose money because bonuses and profit sharings that were there under the previous ownership are no longer there. And so it's basically more work, less pay, more stress, and everything that the world would have to tell me would say, well, you just got to go. You got to go do what's going to make Drew happy, and everything about my flesh does want to do that. But something inside me is telling me that this too is bigger than me, and that the Lord has something to show me in all of this. And it could be preparing me for something bigger. It could be humbling me and changing my lifestyles and the way that my family and I live. And I don't know what any of that looks like, and I don't have to. And as hard as it is, and as uncomfortable it is, we're called to obedience, and not to brag on that, but to trust. And that He's always faithful. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, because sometimes it's easy to take the easy path. And even when the easy path isn't easy, if it's the easier of the two, sometimes that's still not the right choice. Like, sometimes we just have to hunker down and stand where the Lord wants us. Trust me, I don't think Daniel wanted to be in the lion's den. I think if he had an option between being thrown in there and trusting that the Lord was going to keep him safe versus something else, you know, like, he chose to be obedient in his faith, and the Lord followed through. So did the three boys thrown in the furnace, or Noah to build an ark when none of it made sense, and he was mocked the entire time, but he was true to the Lord. And I think that we all have those moments in our lives, and the question is where are we going to stand? So I just hope that that's an encouraging thing, and that if you're in that situation, that you would bring it to light, and that it would help guide your prayers and how to pray for yourself or to pray for others around you, and to pray for me and my family, that that we would be strengthened through this trial, and that all the glory would go to God.